It's one of the most important sectors in the Ontario's economy, but thanks to a behind-the-scenes government regulation, its workers aren't being afforded the same rights and protections as most everybody else in the province. I'm Cristina Howorun in front of the Chrysler casting plant in Etobicoke, one of several auto part plants where its workers are being treated differently than everyone else. Last month, while the Ontario government was touting changes to labour laws as a major breakthrough for workers, in cabinet back rooms, politicians were signing off on a regulation that singles out Ontario's 100,000 auto workers for fewer benefits, including 3 fewer sick days than almost everyone else in the province.
For me to have less days than somebody, and I'm not saying any other jobs, not just as hard, but like for someone who's sitting behind a desk is insanity.
William Murray has been working at the Toyota plant for 15 years. This year, he and his co-workers got a big surprise, a 30% reduction in sick days, days that are now standard for every other worker in a provincially regulated job.
I don't know what the government's thinking at this point. We've tried talking to MPPs. No one's giving a straight answer. They're saying it's a pilot program, but there's no end date. There's no feedback from the people that are affected by it.
In a quiet back corner of the legislature, the Liberals approved a regulation that limits auto and auto part workers to 7 unpaid days a year, a move that sources familiar with the file say the auto sector has been demanding for quite some time.
Somebody lobbied them. And said, we need this, and so they just quietly did it, and then we kind of found out about it as it was happening.
But the NDP couldn't stop it. The Ministry of Economic Development is behind the change, not the Labour Ministry, which is in charge of employment standards. We asked the Office of Economic Development Minister Brad Dogood if foreign multinationals such as Honda and Toyota were influencing government policy on Ontario workers. The office didn't respond. A spokesperson instead writing, Ontario auto companies have a unique set of challenges. They're tremendously important to our economy. They employ thousands of people in well-paying jobs across the province, and they're also operating in a particularly competitive global sector.
So where every other worker in the province will get the 10 days with 2 paid for either personal emergency, sick leave or bereavement leave, these workers won't. Kowtowing to companies over workers' rights.
They honestly don't care what our say is in this and how it affects us. And we feel discriminated against as opposed to everybody else in the province who is going to get their 10 days, get the benefits of the Employment Standards Act, and we're left not even knowing if we're even covered under the Employment Standards Act.
Although this was initially introduced as a pilot project, there's no end date planned for this endeavor. Now, the NDP critic for Labour says she plans to introduce a private member's bill in the spring that will bring auto workers the same rights as everyone else, but that's still several months away.